here. What can I do you for, Congressman?
Oh, listen, Clement. The taxpayer is picking up the bill for this call, so I'm going to make it brief. The amount of help I need from a man with your skills has tripled in volume, and that's a conservative estimate. If you're interested in helping me out with this, you can call me, and I'll tell you what I need. The pay will be more than adequate.
Once you go down the dark path, it just keeps going, don't it, Stubbs? I'll call if I feel the need to keep you in the lifestyle to which you're accustomed.
Billy, I just don't see how we have a choice, man.
I have a choice. I'm free. I'm not a slave. I have a choice. Jim, I love you, man, but since you've hit middle age, you really lost something.
Yeah, and since you've fucking been strung out on this shit, you've lost something. Your fucking mind.
Easy, Jim. Who the fuck you speaking to, huh? Hey,
What's up?
I'm just trying to explain to our friend here that possession is 9/10 of the law. We should make the Slopes pay us back.
Billy, I got Chad on the phone. Pay us back for what?
Look, we have a business opportunity here, Johnny. I think a guy like you should be pleased.
Yeah, but Jim says there's some problem.
There is. That H we stole. It belonged to the Chinese. The deadbeats told them we got it and they want it back.
So? Fuck them.
Finally!
Billy, Chad's on the phone about the meeting.
Look, normally I'd be down for that, but these aren't the type of dudes you just say fuck them to. There's some heavily armed, pissed off motherfuckers who killed a couple of angels when they found out this shit was gone. Now I'm thinking maybe we could strike up a deal with them.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah, why don't you just suck them off while you're at it? And tell Chad I'm sober as can be over here!
That's what I told
Look,
him.
I just think that given this war we're back into with the Angels of Death, and given the fact that one or possibly two government agencies are looking into our shit, that offloading the heroin would be a good idea, all right? And looking for a fight is the wrong thing to do right now, given the fact that we can't even stop fighting amongst ourselves.
Yeah, you're right. We should probably all get in a circle, hold hands, pray, sing Kumbaya.
Kumbaya.
Yeah, whatever. This ain't no joking matter, Billy. We'll either end up dead in the ground or back in the lockup with you.
I ain't going back there. I'd rather be dead. Damn straight.
Well, you don't have to do either, man. I just think that getting rid of that stuff now is the right thing to do.
Okay.
Hello everybody, welcome back to Let's Play Lost and Damned. It's been a while. It's been like 2 months, I think, since the last video, and it's really just because I haven't really felt like playing this game, honestly. And also, yeah, this one is post-commentary because there was a time, about a week ago, that I did feel like playing this game, but I didn't feel like talking. I wasn't feeling that well that day, but I was in a video game playing mood, and I've actually been playing through just sort of sporadically over the course of the last few months since starting this LP, playing through the storyline of the main game of GTA 4 again, and that's always fun. I like that game, and I'm almost at the end of it now, so I was like, well, I guess I should play more of the GTA 4 game that I'm, like, making YouTube videos about. And my just motivation to do Let's Plays in general has been pretty low. But that is because, I mean, for a couple of reasons, but one of the main ones recently is that it is because I've had some actual stuff going on. I've been kind of busy, I also have had more motivation to do, to work on other things that are, you know, a little more interesting, at least to me, more film project type things. I have a couple of those in the air right now, and in various stages of being made. So that's been good, but one of the consequences of that is that in my free time I don't always feel like doing this, and when I do feel like playing a video game, it's usually something else. But like I said, a couple days ago I felt like playing this, and I knocked out a few missions, recorded it, and here I am a few days later, just chilling. I was gonna watch a movie with the fellas tonight and maybe record or stream that, but everybody was either busy or just not really feeling up to it. I myself didn't really feel like I was in a position to give like funny movie commentary at the time. But I do think that I could pretty decently ramble over some GTA 4 gameplay about other bullshit for roughly 45 minutes. So that is what I am here to do. You know the drill, it's your like bi-monthly installment of the Pope Timbo podcast, where I talk about whatever I want for 40 minutes, and you can watch some gameplay. It's basically, I kind of think of this as the equivalent of like, having a podcast on, and then you have like the woodworking or the Subway Surfers gameplay at the bottom. Yeah, that's what that's what these are. That's like, there's some podcasts, like history podcasts, that I like, but I always find myself having to go back and re-listen to parts, because like it's a little harder to pay attention to like words and names and facts and figures and whatnot when they're just being spoken versus like reading them in a book. It's hard to follow the words. Like an audiobook is like, I don't really listen to audiobooks because I would rather just read along anyway, and it's like, well, I'm just going to be reading it. And yeah, there's why did I start talking about that? I don't even remember. Whatever, watch the cutscene.
You two are going to be the ones to hand over the brown to the slopes.
What? What are you and your boy here gonna be doing?
We are gonna watch your backs, because unlike this fat man here, I just don't trust those little yellow bastards. Good luck.
Hey, they don't need luck. We're looking out for them.
This better be cool, man.
So, Johnny, this is, okay.
We gonna be cool and do this thing?
So let me get this straight. You are here to sell us back our heroin. The heroin my cousin sweated over in order to bring to this country, only to have it stolen.
Look, man, we can do business or go to war. It's your call.
In this country, they seem to be the same thing, you stupid pieces of shit!
Fuck you!
Where the fuck's Billy?
Back on your word.
Okay, so yeah, the triads are mad at us for doing what we did, so gotta kill them. That is the name of the game. It's Killing People 4. You know what I should do to fill in the time, since I always like don't know what to talk about with these games, even though I keep wanting to play them, is I should just read the entirety of Jack Thompson's Out of Harm's Way, his autobiography, which I bought when I was like 17 because I just became very obsessed with the like 90s and 2000s like video game moral panic, and the moral panics of that period in general, but the video game one was particularly interesting to me. And Jack Thompson as a figure, he figures very heavily in that milieu, and so ended up finding out quite a lot about him, and he wrote a book where he talks about his whole, how he was a born-again Christian, and he was on a mission from God to save children from video games and rap music and stuff. And he's just an insane dude who did and said some truly whack things, like in court and in letters, correspondence to people, that he is suing or otherwise involved in some lawsuit with. and he's just an interesting figure who has particularly railed against the GTA series and Rockstar in general. So maybe that would be a fun little thing. I feel like I've joked several times about like reading a book as commentary. Maybe I'll do that one day. That'd be fun. Alright, so the boss is going down. Because he was stupid? I don't know. I don't really know whose fault this was, if I'm being honest.
Johnny Cleavage.
Brian, man, shit's fucked. Billy's been taken down. Where are you?
Bill, yeah, he's fucked out. Thanks to you. I'm around the corner.
We're coming. Wait there. Dude, this feels weird. Let's get to the bikes.
Just knocked his ass over. Alright, so, yeah. Billy is, going to the slammer for doing bike crimes.
I don't know, man. Billy sounded pissed.
Cleavage, man, what the fuck? What happened back there?
Gotta get on the
Come
correct
on,
bike.
move it.
And yeah, now I'm chapter president. Or we are chapter president. What is the correct thing to do? Because I always kind of think it's funny when like Let's Players or streamers say we whenever they're talking about something that they are doing in the game. But I also get it. Like, I don't think it's... I don't have a problem with it. I don't think they're stupid or anything. I just... It's kind of funny. But... I understand why you would do that. But I never know what to do myself with it. Anyway, but yeah, how is everybody doing? It's been a little while. No movement on Employee of the Month, by the way, for anyone wondering. I honestly haven't really given it a try, but there's... I need to do something about my optical drive, for one thing, and also... I don't know. I don't know what the problem is still with the virtual machine or whatever about it was giving me trouble. I'll come back to it at some point soon. I have other fish to fry. But I hope everybody's holiday season is going well. I had a pretty good Thanksgiving. I took my nieces to see Moana 2. Which was fine. Perfectly cromulent children's film. I liked it more than I liked Wicked, which everyone seems to really love, and good for them. I've never been much of a Wicked head myself. I don't have anything against musicals. Something that, every time that I've been the stick in the mud that I am with people who are talking about ask if I've seen Wicked, and when I say yes, and then I say that I didn't really like it very much, a bunch of people are like, well, it's a musical, and not everyone likes them, and the thing is, I do like musicals. I have nothing against musicals at all. I was in musicals growing up, so I am familiar with a lot of the big famous ones, and, I have no problem with the genre as, on principle. But Wicked as a musical was never like one of my favorites. I'd never hated it or anything, but it was whatever. I'd only, listen to the music also. I never actually seen it performed. But yeah, and then the movie is just very like, I thought it was bloated and overlong and didn't really look very good most of the time. Very washed out. A lot of really weird looking backlighting that was ugly and not particularly like expressive or motivated. Didn't like it all that much, but it was fine. It's, not a terrible movie or anything, just I don't love it like a lot of people do. But again, good for them. I'm glad that people are having fun, and, there are good songs in that musical, and I'm glad that people are holding space with them, as the kids are saying. So, yeah, but Moana 2 was, I don't know, that was like a cartoon, so I don't know, maybe I just went into it with different sort of expectations, but for a movie that was like cobbled together out of what was originally going to be a Disney Plus series, it was surprisingly not bad. And there you have it. Billy is in jail, and Johnny is now the president of the United States of America. I was going to say there's a lot has happened since the last time I recorded this game, and one of the things that happened, obviously, is the election. So I thought maybe, people might be curious my thoughts on that. And obviously I 100% support Donald Trump, our new president. He's... no, anyway, I think the results of the election are not very surprising, even though I was wrong, I will admit. I was saying that I thought Kamala was going to win. And honestly, in hindsight, it was very, election-brained reasons that I thought it would. But honestly, I probably should have guessed that, because it wasn't necessarily a blowout win. It was definitely bigger than I and most people expected for Trump, but not a landslide by any means. But definitely a pretty stark repudiation of the status quo. And of the Democratic Party response to events of the last 4 or 5 years or so. I guess I should have guessed that, getting the endorsement from Dick Cheney and just the whole way that the Kamala campaign and, the Biden campaign that came before it, and, that the Kamala campaign hired all of the exact same people from, and, did nothing to separate itself from. There was just no way. If they did win, it was going to be in spite of everything they were doing. And it would have been 100% because of how personally unpopular Donald Trump is, which I think at this point could be overstated. Especially, and maybe not, it may not be overstated how much people dislike Donald Trump or how many people dislike Donald Trump, but I do think it is overstated maybe how much that actually matters with respect to how many people vote for him. Because there were a lot of people who, in the exact same exit polls, they voted for Donald Trump, but they said, I think he's a criminal. I think he's a bad guy. But, I think he's a bad guy who should be the president. Which I think it's so funny that there's a post the other day that was pointing to this thing that a majority of Americans think that Trump should go to jail for the crimes that he's committed, but also that he should be able to be president, and the election was fair and he won fair and square and should still get to be president. And there was a post that was the American people have decided the president should live in jail. And honestly, I think that would be a good trade-off. I think it would be, first of all, really funny, and also really cool. It would make, I think Trump would like it. It would make him an icon forever if he were a president ruling from prison. I think that would be pretty cool. And I think everyone would get what they want then, right? Democrats could be like, liberals could be like, oh my god, we finally got him. Like, there he is, behind bars. But he still gets to, like, do stuff. And I mean, they still won control of Congress and shit, so they can still do all the bad stuff they want to do, even if he is in jail. As long as he can still, they bring him, they slip him the fucking bill for him to sign or whatever. But yeah, obviously, things are gonna continue to be really bad and get worse in a number of ways. Obviously, groceries and other things, the price of things is not going to get any cheaper. You're not going to make any more money at your job than you otherwise would have. The best case scenario is that nothing changes about the healthcare system in the next 4 years, and which is pretty bad considering how dire that is. And yeah, it's really just an unfortunate set of circumstances. That was all me. That was just me being a dumbass with these pipe bombs. Which I wish that I had more cash on hand in this game so I could spend them on fucking rockets, which are a lot more fun to shoot at these vans. Anyway, what was I talking about? Oh yeah, things are going to be bad. That was gonna be the thing anyway, though, because the thing is, like, I was prepared to be disappointed either way that the election went, and I'm not gonna say that I think Trump winning is a good thing by any stretch, but and I don't think that his winning over Kamala has anything to do with this in particular. Like, I don't think this is the reason why he won, but and obviously he's still going to be bad on this issue. There's a million caveats to this. I don't even know why I'm saying it at this point, but the reason that I was going to be disappointed either way is that if Kamala had won, then all of the genocide stuff and the lying about Biden stuff, which I feel like should be more of a thing, like, should be interrogated more closely. The fact that, like, everyone in Biden's circle and White House and many Democratic Party figures, including, like, AOC and people who put a lot of their credibility on the line in 2024 to cape for Biden until the last minute. They were all saying that he was fine, like, and behind closed doors, he's actually, like, 100% there, and there's no decline, and then once it became obvious and you couldn't really lie about it to people anymore after the debate, suddenly the tune switched, and, I just think it's not that weird that people, by and large, do not trust them after that. And obviously, Trump is not very trustworthy, and, anyway, I feel like I really don't have all that much to say about the election because most things were going to get worse in the exact same way regardless, but now there's going to be some, like, fun new ways that things might get worse, and some things that, like, either wouldn't have happened or would have happened slower if Kamala had won. My one hot take, though, is that I think in hindsight it would have been better if Trump had won in 2020. Like, if we wanted Trump to not win in 2016, you'd have to, bare minimum, just not have Hillary Clinton. I would say that either Joe Biden or Bernie would have won pretty handily in 2016. I think Bernie would have won in 2020, and we know now that Biden won in 2020, although not by, again, wasn't a landslide by any means, but a solid enough win. Electoral college-wise, at least. And I mean, very significant lead in the popular vote, but that doesn't matter. But yeah, those things didn't happen and probably weren't going to in 2016. So if we're just granting that Trump would win at least once, it probably would be better if he had won in 2020, because then all of the post-COVID inflation and the international turmoil in Europe and the Middle East, which was probably going to happen anyway, that would all be on him. And because there's been a backlash to incumbents all over the world in the last couple years because of, again, like the post-COVID economic and political situation. And the U.S. has been no exception. And a big part of the appeal of Trump's first term and why a lot of people are more comfortable with him this time around is that he gets a lot of credit for the strength of the economy during his term and during the couple of years right before the pandemic. And without that, if he had had a second term, then for one thing, he couldn't run again. I mean, he could always illegally try to run again. I don't know how successful he would be in that, and honestly, I don't even know if he would want to. After 4 years of it, and now that I'm pretty sure the specter of him actually going to jail is gone. I don't know if he still thinks that he could go to jail, but I don't think he ever will. And to the extent that I ever did, I thought the chances were pretty slim, honestly. But yeah, then, there'd be more anger directed at him, at this time. People would want a fresh face, and then now would be the time to give people something. Also, Joe Biden would be even more old and couldn't run him again. Now, not saying that would be a guaranteed Democrat win, because if anything has been made clear, they don't have much of a bench that isn't pretty entrenched establishment types that people hate. People love generic Democrats in Senate races, but presidential candidates, we don't have a whole lot of stuff, which is its own conversation about what the left, such that it exists in America, should do in politics, if anything. Who the Democratic Party should be thinking of running. I do have opinions on all of those things, but it's all just speculation at this point. And you can pretty much bet. Just imagine whatever the least effort on their part and worst outcome for everyone else. And that's probably what's going to actually happen.
Give me some. These ain't probably dimes for us. People always gonna want what we got to sell. They're gonna want even more products when they lose their jobs and ain't got nothing else.
Okay, I guess all we gotta worry about is the cops taking us down then.
True that, cat. Hey, yo, E, let them know what it is.
You gotta take some thieving, snitching motherfuckers and show them I'm a bitch. But I ain't they fucking bitch, okay? They bribed the guard on the Eastboro Bridge to let them through without checking their loan, right? You guys is gonna go down there and tear them apart. Entiende?
It is.
Now get the fuck out of here!
Yeah. Okay, ma.
Avanza, cabrones. ¿Qué?
Let's go.
Bus? Fucking parade.
Encontrame una criada, Andreas!
Watch your mouth, son.
Make yourself useful and clean this shit up!
Okay, but you know what? I'm gonna need some rubber gloves. I'm gonna be honest, okay? Because I got...
Let's keep a low profile and ride in the car, man. Malk, man, get one of your boys to bring our wheels to the drop-off.
Handle this, Johnny.
Okay, so we're doing some shit for Elizabeta now. With her buddies. I forget what this mission is. I recorded and cut this together like 4 or 5 days ago, and I do not remember much of anything about it. I'm going to guess that at some point in this mission we shoot some people. I think that's a pretty safe bet. That's enough election talk for now, though. Another thing that happened since the last time I recorded is a dude fucking shot a health insurance CEO in Manhattan and then rode away on a bike. And then they caught a suspect named Luigi Macaroni, and now he's in jail, and he's been charged with 11 counts, including terrorism. And everyone wants to fuck him. He's a piece of ass. He's real sexy, and women want to suck on his wiener. And he might be the guy who did it. Here's my thing. First of all, I think killing is bad, and I'm not afraid to say it. However, I also think that, in the way that this is being covered in the media is very funny, because the average person, in my experience, in response to this, I do remember this mission where you hold up the toll booth. This kind of cool. In my experience, most people's reaction to this has been like, "Ha, that guy, well, yeah." And but in the news, they're trying to make this Luigi guy look like real scary, or alternatively, like he's a total moron. And they're making it very clear that this is nothing to celebrate and that violence is bad. And there's an obvious point that many people have already made about the violence that the health insurance industry does in a sort of, in our in traditional sense, indirect way to people. But I really like the whole like family man angle. And the thing that pisses me off about it is more just like, I would respect them more if they were honest and were like, no, killing is good sometimes, just not CEOs, because they do actually believe that. Another, point that I'm the 500 millionth person to make on the internet, is that, this is the same news media that has been finding, if they talk about it at all, has been finding ways to, exhaustively contextualize or outright justify the killing of civilians in Gaza. And, you can find any number of examples. It's almost banal to point out at this point that there are some people in the media that it is, when they die, it is a tragedy, and other people that when they die, it is unfortunate, but maybe necessary. Even if they may not say it in as many words. So, I don't know. I would like it better if they were just like, no, stop, you're only supposed to like it when... Like, they should just have a list of, this is when it's good when someone dies. When it's a terrorist, if it's someone we call a terrorist, then that's... Like, because I remember when Osama bin Laden died, and, if you celebrated his death on CNN, no one got mad at you, because we were like, yeah, he's a bad guy. Even if you're not, like, pro-killing people or pro-vigilante justice, which I am not, pro either of those things... you can still, like, at the very least, not fucking care when a guy dies or gets killed, or, you know, respond with like, yeah, fuck that guy, or like, yeah, I kind of get why someone would do that. Like, that sounds, you know, understandable to me, even if, you know, you don't have to support something to understand why someone would do it and not, like, hold any real, like, anger or whatever, sadness in your heart for what they did, because, like, personally, I don't think that makes you a bad person. I do think that, like, outright celebrating death is just kind of morbid in a way. But again, I'm not gonna police anybody's response to anything. But yeah, like, I think back to Osama bin Laden, and you know, you may say, but Tim, he did 9/11, and that's true. But, you know, I'm sure that in his own way, that United Healthcare guy probably killed at least a 9/11's worth of people. And Osama had like 20 kids. He was a family man too. Also, didn't they kill one of his kids in that raid? No one talks about that. They killed like 6 other people. Damn, that was... Why did I do that? It was just some random guy. Maybe I just wanted to be a cold-blooded killer. So here's Elizabeta being all like weird and paranoid and freaking out. I don't like this side of her. I like it when she's chill.
Don't worry about my friend Johnny, huh? He's ugly, but he don't bite. Andreas!
Hey.
Andreas!
Hey.
Why do I pay you to protect me when you don't do nothing?
I was in the kitchen. I was doing the thing.
I don't want no fucking excuses. Get the fuck back in the kitchen.
Pero, okay, está bien.
Jesus! Hey, Johnny boy.
What's up?
You had a good time the other day with those boys, huh? Men and their motorcycles.
Sure. Why we need to hit that convoy so hard? You know, all these bodies can't be good for your business.
You don't think I could survive out here if I wasn't dropping some people? I'm the big boss.
Okay.
People gonna love you, but they're gonna hate you even more, right?
Now you're starting to sound like Billy.
They're gonna hate you because you're a woman in this macho fucking world. They're gonna hate you because you're from the island. Stupid people think Latinos ain't worth shit in this town. When you the big boss, and you me, these bodies gotta come with it.
Okay.
I came up from a rough background. Man tried to turn me out when I was 14 years old. I fed him his balls.
I'm just saying you should limit your casualties.
When I ended that fucker, I got a reputation in PR. No man touched me after that. Nah, I ain't saying all men are bad. Would've married 3 of them if I thought that, right?
All right, let's do this, Liz.
Okay. Go get my girl, Marta. She just came in on the adios flight from PR. You think this place look okay? It's so hard to get it nice again once the assholes have their party.
Yeah, it's fine.
Yeah?
Yeah, she'll love it.
Okay. Where? Andreas!
Sí.
You fucking missed a spot!
I miss a spot, no.
Come fluff these pillows and get that spot off my couch!
We're 5000 3D.2, showing some great weather out there. Still gonna have some serious threat of daytime heating. Probably some old ladies falling down.
I just thought of another election take real quick, which is that, if it's not clear, this is, if you're unhappy with the results of the election, and you want to find one guy, one person to blame it on, one person's decisions that led us here, there is one guy that you can credibly, pin all of this on. and that is Joe Biden. Because, for one thing, if he was going to run, he should have done it in 2016. Obama told him not to, and everyone threw it behind Hillary because she had been working toward that forever, as had Biden. But Biden had always been kind of a fuck-up. And, but, he won in 2020, it is what it is, and from there he should have been what he sold himself as, which was a one-term bridge president who came in to sort of restore order. That perception of him immediately went away after the Afghanistan troop withdrawal debacle, and then only got worse with the war in Ukraine, although, the war effort was initially popular. The war dragging on has made it kind of unpopular in America. At best, Americans don't fucking care about it as much anymore. And then, of course, with Gaza, whether or not people think that, Israel and America's support for Israel is good, and Israel's actions are justified in Gaza, the fact of the matter is, things are unraveling in the Middle East under Biden's watch, and, there was a perception that, both domestically and internationally, things were not getting better under him as people hoped that they would. And again, this has been a thing. Incumbents in general have had a rough go of it the last couple of years because of things. So, things that are both in and outside of their control. But Biden could have not run again, and we could have had an open primary where someone, I would say not Kamala Harris, would have emerged as people's favorite of a probably wide field. But he didn't do that. He ran again and then dropped out at essentially the last minute when it was too late to run a primary, and they just shoved through his VP, who I think he specifically picked Kamala as his VP because it was someone that he didn't think would be able to win, so that if they tried to replace him or not run him again, then, they would be saddled with someone who was, not a very good politician and doesn't have a history of robust electoral success. So, which was not true. I mean, there were other candidates in 2020 that he could have selected who would have been good actual runners-up, even including Bernie, who is also an old man, but at least represented some sort of moving forward or moving away from things. And that's the thing. That's really what it comes down to with this election, I feel like, is people, I think understandably and rightfully, especially after the last few years, but I would really, bring it all the way back to, at least 2008, the post-2008 financial crisis, where just in general, and obviously there are a number of different ways that people find to express this, liberal and conservative and in between, where they are by and large unhappy with the system that we have. They see our institutions as unfair, illegitimate, and, not being for the average person, not being, the rules aren't written to help the average person, and they want something different. We want to feel like something different is happening, and the Democrat message has mostly been, when, responding to people's complaints about the economy and stuff, with telling them, actually, everything is fine. Things are good. The institutions are good. They are actually working as they are intended. It's not always what we like, but it's the best that we got, and we have to fight to make sure that they are preserved. If someone comes in and gets rid of them, it's going to be the worst thing ever. And I think it makes sense that a lot of people see the Donald Trump response to things, which is, fuck it, let's get rid of the shit. And, it's stuff that I think is bad and troubling, but I absolutely see the appeal of both Donald Trump personally as a guy and also of, you know, his brand of politics and his narrative and vision for the country and for the future. Not because I think it's good or credible, but because, you know, it articulates something that, you know, presents people with an enemy, presents people with a narrative that explains their suffering and explains the way things are, or at least the way things feel, and gives them a sense that there is something that can be done about it. You know, there's someone, if just the right people go to jail, if the right people get hired, then we can, you know, we can make the country a better place. We can bring it back to what it was, or make it something better. And again, like, I don't agree with how they, you know, proposed on doing that, and I don't think that it's a credible proposition. But that is the winning message at this time, and it is because there is no credible left alternative being articulated. You know, we don't have a real politically powerful or active left in America. Our left is the Democratic Party, which is fully captured by the same muddied interests as the Republican Party, and have, for the entire time I've been alive at least, made it their main priority to, like, appeal to Republicans and demonstrate how much fealty they can demonstrate to Republicans, and how much they can reach across the aisle and compromise with Republicans, which is all well and good, but, you know, it's, at some point, you have to answer the question of what people stand for, which is why it's so funny whenever someone would say, like, I don't know what Kamala wants to do, like, she hasn't really explained, and someone, a lib, would point to, like, her really long policy proposals. And the thing is, like, the detailedness of the policy proposals isn't what people are talking about. It's the fact that people don't really believe that people don't know what she, like, actually cares about or believes in as a person, because she and the entire Democratic Party just speak in, like, vague platitudes about democracy and whatnot, because they can't really be actively for something, because the main point of the Democratic Party, it seems, is to just be a pressure release valve, like a catch and kill operation for class consciousness, and, you know, to take the people who want to change things and you know, want something different, but in the other direction, the, you know, the more liberal direction, and you know, are looking for some means to express that politically, and the Democratic Party is the best they've got. And yeah, it is falling short on actually, you know, consistently, you know, coming to bat for its stated principles and its, you know, ostensible, you know, what demographics it represents, let alone, to say nothing of, like, actually managing to pass any legislation or make any substantial changes. Anyway, I've rambled enough about this shit, but that's basically what I'm thinking as far as the election stuff goes. I figured someone might be wondering what I thought of things. Not that it's a big mystery. I don't think anything I've said here is too far outside of other stuff that I've said over the years. Anyway, yeah, we got this Spanish lady, and we drove her back to Elizabeta's and beat the mission. And that's it. So there you have it. I hope everyone enjoyed a mail. Ooh. I hope you enjoyed this video of GTA 4 Lost and Damned. I don't know when the next video will be, hopefully less than 2 months, but probably after Christmas, so I hope everyone has a lovely holiday, whatever you celebrate, and I'll see you guys next time.